DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. I want to give you a very simple framework and understanding for how to be a good coaching client. Now, this is for any kind of coaching I'm talking about here. I'm talking life coaching, business coaching, sports coaching, personal training, anything where you have a person who has more knowledge or information or experience than you, ostensibly, and you have enrolled them to be the person who's going to help you get to a higher level. So they are coaching you. I don't care if it's your parent doing it and they just want to help you out, if it's a mentor, if it's somebody that you actually paid, if you're playing on the team and they're the coach, whatever it is a simple framework to be coached. If you follow these 3 steps, you will do well as the subject of coaching. I'm not talking about being the coach. I'm talking about being a person who is being coached. ED, coached, receiving the coaching. Number 1 thing you must do, listen. Most important thing you can do when you are being coached by somebody, someone's giving you information and they know more than you know, is shut up and listen. You only have to do the shut up part. You should be listening already, so you don't have to shut up because you weren't talking from the beginning, because they already know more than you. So what are you going to tell them? So listening. This is the number 1 thing you can do when you are being coached, is listen. And listening does not just mean you heard what the person said. Listening means you are taking in what they said, you are understanding what they said, and then you're going to do something with what they said. So it's not just hearing it and being able to regurgitate it and just say back whatever they said to you. That's hearing. Listening means you're really taking it in and you're interpreting it in a way that you can understand how it is going to work for you in a way to make sense in your mind. That's listening. Some people call that active listening. So not only did you hear what they said, but if they said to you, hey, what did I just say to you? You could tell it back to them in your own words, and they would agree that you understand, that you're paying attention. Number 1 thing you can do when you're being coached is listen. I mean, it's very simple, right? It's a simple enough idea. Everybody knows what listening is, or at least everybody thinks they know what listening is. And most people are pretty good at defining listening when you're the one who is talking. But when you're the one who is actually listening, or supposedly listening, do you understand it then? So listening, taking in what the person is saying and understanding, number 1. Number 2 thing you do when you are being coached, if you want to get great results from the coaching that you're receiving, is execute. After you listen to what the person has told you, go execute on what they said. So if the coach tells you, let me give you an example so we can make this a little bit more concrete. I went to the first basketball tryout I ever went to when I was trying to play pro. So I graduated college. That summer after graduation, I was trying to get on playing pro. I went into this minor league team tryout, this ABA team that didn't even end up playing. This team didn't even end up happening. But I went to the tryout. It wasn't that many people at the tryout. I think I did pretty well, even though it wasn't that many people. The coaches there said, all right, we liked your game. You're promising, but we want to see you against some other competition. So we're having another tryout in 2 weeks. So come back to the next one. Same place, whatever. So I said, all right. I came back to the next one, but the head coach told me, look, one thing that I need you to do between now and 2 weeks from now in the next tryout is I need you to get in better shape. I need you to get in better game shape. He said I wasn't in shape. I thought I was in shape, but this is the head coach of a pro basketball team telling me I need to get in better shape, and I'm trying to get on his team. So of course I'm going to follow. I'm listening to what the coach is saying. I didn't argue with him. I didn't say, Coach, I'm already in shape. I didn't say, Coach, look at my muscles, look at my 6-pack. What are you talking about, get in shape? I didn't do any of that. I listened to what he said. And via active listening, I understood that even though I had an idea that I was in shape, if he's telling me I need to get in shape, then obviously he doesn't think that I'm in shape. And whose opinion matters more, mine or his? His. So this is my listening. This is all part of my listening. I interpreted that to understand what he was saying, not what I was saying, what he was saying. So what I need to do? Everybody, class, let's say it at once. I need to get in better shape. So whatever shape I thought I was in clearly wasn't good enough for that man. So I went and got in better shape. So what did I do for the next 2 weeks? What would you do? If you want to be on that team, what would you do? I started running up hills, and I'm in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of hills in Altoona. So I'm running up hills. I'm doing sprints. I'm doing suicides. I'm doing all the kind of stuff that your coaches make you do when you're on a basketball team to get in shape. So I was doing all that stuff by myself for the next 2 weeks. Went to the next tryout. And the coach shook my hand in the middle of the trial. He said, I told you to get in shape and you did it. So I appreciate that. I respect that. He shook my hand, whatever. So obviously what I did was paying off. It paid off whatever I thought was good enough to get in shape. I'm not telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you that I executed on what I listened to the person telling me. The coach told me, get in shape. I executed on getting in shape, and the coach recognized that. When you are being coached by somebody, and again, when you're being coached by somebody, usually it's voluntary. I don't know anybody who gets coached by somebody in there. Nobody's forced into coaching. Now, you might be forced into going to school and you got a teacher that you don't like. You might be forced into, you don't choose your parents. You might not like your parents, but they're telling you what to do. You might not like your boss at work and they're telling you what to do. I'm talking about coaching where somebody's helping you out and they're taking you under their wing and putting you onto some game, and you have a choice whether or not you want to take this in from this person. So that person who is coaching you have a choice. So if somebody's coaching you, that means you chose them for a reason. So when they tell you to do something, do it. Is this complicated? Does anybody have a question? Does anybody not understand anything that I've said in the first 2 points? Listen to what they say, because they know more than you, and you understand that. That's why they're coaching you. And then do what they say. Why are you listening to somebody? You're not going to do what they tell you to do. So whatever they tell you, just go do it. Execute on the information that is given to you. Okay? Any of you who works as a coach, if you do any type of business coaching, life coaching, sports coaching, personal training, anything like that, do any of you like working with clients who don't execute on what you tell them? You tell them to do something, they don't want to do it. You're a personal trainer, you tell your client, do 10 burpees. Now, I don't like doing burpees. I don't want to do that. Can I do push-ups instead? It's like, no. It's like, get the hell out the gym. Either do what I'm telling you to do or get the hell out of the gym. If you have a coach, do what they tell you to do. I know I've said this a bunch of times. I'm going to keep saying it because I want to make sure the people in the back heard what I said here. So whatever they tell you to do it. Execution. That's point number 2. What's the third thing that happens when you have a coach? So you listen to what they said, you executed on it. Now, disclaimer, if your coach is any good and you are a good judge of someone actually having the information that you need and the game that you need to get, meaning you chose the right coach and that coach is actually good at coaching, the third step is very simple. Now you collect the rewards. Now you get the results. Now you get the outcome. Now you have lost 30 pounds. Now your business is in better shape. Now you are being held accountable and doing what you're supposed to do and doing all the stuff that you signed up to be doing. Now you are getting the outcomes that you looked for coaching for in the first place. If your coach is any good, point number 3 should happen automatically if you're doing point number 1 and point number 2. If you do point number 1 and point number 2, and point number 3 does not happen, meaning you are not getting success, you are not getting results after listening to your coach and executing on what they told you, that means either A, you are personally inept at execution, meaning what you did, you just didn't follow through properly, you didn't do it the right way, and you just talk to your coach about that. Your coach should be able to help you with that. So it's either that or B, you chose the wrong coach, and whatever information they shared with you, whatever game they gave you, didn't actually help you. Now, most of the time, in my experience, when someone hires a coach, a trainer, business coach, life coach, whatever other kind of mentor or something like that, usually you have a pretty good idea what this person is about and what they bring to the table before you get into dealing with them. That's why you hired them in the first place. Usually we don't hire a coach just sight unseen. Usually we have dug into them a little bit before we even have a conversation with them, right? Most of the time, that's how it's going in my experience. Someone is being coached by me, they have a pretty good idea who I am, what I'm about, what I talk about, all that stuff. So that means you probably chose the right coach. So if you're not getting results from your coaching, that means you are probably not executing properly, or you skipped a step, or usually what happens is you're going to get the results. The contingencies, the ones that have the variability, is points number 1 and number 2. I'm going to assume that you chose the right coach. I'm going to assume you're pretty intelligent, you chose the right person, you're smart. So you're going to get the results as point number 3. So let's recap these points. This is a very simple process that we can all follow. Number 1, you have a coach, listen to them. They tell you something, do what they tell you to do. They give you some information, listen to the information. They tell you stop doing something, stop doing it. They tell you why something is, take heed to whatever it is they're telling you. Number 1, listen. Number 2, execute. Whatever the coach tells you, do it. I mean, is that a That shouldn't be a difficult concept for anybody. Whatever the coach tells you to do, do it. And number 3, results. That's how it works. This works anywhere. It works everywhere. It works in any industry. It works with any type of person. It works in any vertical. You could be like a new person getting started. You could be a person at the top of your game just trying to get the extra 1% to get the most out of your game. Doesn't matter where you are, this works. That is your 3-step formula for being the recipient of coaching. Any questions? Of course, you can leave them in the comments, but even better, you can send me a text. Tell me the best insight you got from this video. What are you going to do different based on this video? What'd you hear in this video that really sparked something in you that tells you that you need to step it up, or maybe you need to go find a coach? My number is 305-384-6894. Again, 305-384-6894. Number's down below in the show notes. And the second thing you're going to do, go get my new book, The Third Day, The Decision That Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. I'll give you the book for free. All you're going to do is cover the shipping. You get that by going to thirddaybook.com. That link is also down below in the show notes. So text me, go get a copy of that book, and work on your game. Dre all